everybody. Welcome to the Power Friendship Podcast, episode 120. 120. We have a special guest today. Thank you, Mr. Jason Inman. Thank you. Introduce yourself. I know I said your name, but here.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm Jason Inman. I'm a writer, podcaster. You probably saw my face. I used to be the official host of DC Comics for a long time. I'm a Ringo losing writer, and general host of Geek History Lesson.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. This is our podcast daddy. You
have to explain what that means.
Okay, I was playing with. Well, ever since I listened to Geek History Lesson, I was like, I heard Jason just start your podcast, just do it. So I got to like Patreon, just like that. So I listened to your podcast, all of them. Geek and it was Jason and John Jeremy Adventures, the car podcast, the movie podcast. So I was like, you just said how to do a podcast. I was just like, do it, and I did Anchor, and I just started making a podcast from now. So I owe you to that, and I love your podcast. Everything your podcast does.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be this pod grandfather.
I guess pod daddy. I guess, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. You and Ashley have done so much. Thank you for helping me out and for making me stronger nerd and better person. I want to thank you that. And I'm glad to have you on the show. You're like one of my guests that when I made the podcast list, I wanted. So you're like, I got one more left to go. And then
who's the one that's left?
I have Roxy Stryer left. And then
okay.
And that's it. I got Ashley first.
I was waiting for you to say like Elon Musk or something. Like somebody like.
Now, when you guys like
Joe Biden, like.
Nah, you guys. We are in Delaware. I might one day. But I had to get you on because you were the first podcast I ever did to. The first geek video I ever saw was you explaining it was something like Green Lantern, like some people say in comics. It was a YouTube video I saw, and I thought you were great. And I kept seeing you, and then I saw Ashley, and then you and I was like, whoa, they're cool. They should be like married or something. I was like, whoa, what? Do you have a geek History lesson? And I was like, this is it. This is the podcast for me. And thank you for everything. Thank you for coming on my show. Hit the like button, share it to your mom, to your dad. We love you. Drink your water. This is my co-host Benny. I love him. He's my best friend. Homie, let's get started on the show. We love you. And our first question is, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine, gentlemen. I just had I've done nothing besides set up for this podcast today.
Okay, I appreciate you. Benny, are you okay? You want to say anything? I'm just hogging on the spotlight.
I'm good. I can't stop staring at Jason's face. You look like Clark Kent, and I will always appreciate that.
I'm joking.
Well, okay. Usually I hear Commander Riker, so.
Oh, ooh. But how's everything going with the writing and stuff like that? How's that going?
Well, which one do you want to dive into? Do you want to dive into comic books? Do you want to dive into? I do a lot of different writing, so that's why.
You know what? I want to talk comic books. This is my dream to talk comic books with you.
Okay.
All right. All right. I know a bit about you. Maybe a little bit too much.
All right.
But
have you looked at my FBI background file? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe one day.
Okay.
One day. Okay. Green Lantern. If you could write for any what's your Green Lantern story would be? What would you do with the Green Lanterns?
Well, here's the thing. So this is the thing. I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay.
Because any good writer will tell you never write for free.
Okay.
So I have some ideas.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna give them to the listenership to just take away from me for them to pitch to DC Comics.
Right. Don't do that.
And
don't steal.
But I can tell you like what the style of it would be, or like what I think is necessary in a Green Lantern story is, like I kind of think every character. This includes more than just comic books, right? Mm-hmm. This includes you can think James Bond or Indiana Jones or even Anne of Green Gables. Like people that are like notable franchises have certain feelings that readers want to feel. So for me, like a Green Lantern story, I'm not a fan of the Green Lantern Corps. I will just tell you that because I'm a Kyle Rayner guy, and when I liked there being the idea that there was only one Green Lantern. Now I understand that that's for money reasons, that's not very popular for DC Comics. They want a title called Green Lantern Corps. They want all that stuff. People have their favorite, like people love Kilowog. So, but for me, I would want to write a singular Green Lantern, probably in like an alien atmosphere, not on Earth. I really like, I really like the space cop aspect of Green Lantern a lot. And so, very few writers I find, it's hard for writers to pull off a Earth Green Lantern story that I enjoy. And I think Jeremy Adams is doing a great job if you're reading the title right now. But like my preference is put him in space. He's on a weird planet, Wild West style, but sci-fi.
Okay. Nice. I love it. Okay, quick question. If you could kill 3 characters in any comic universe, who would you kill? Or that needs to go away for a while? Like, who would you get rid of?
So any comic universe?
Any comic universe.
Any.
Okay, all right. The Joker is dead immediately. Immediately.
Okay.
I am so over Joker stories. I think we need to let the character go away so that we can appreciate him better. Did you guys ever hear like you guys know who Chuck Dixon is? I assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever heard that like in the mid 2000s or the early 2000s that was his plan?
No.
They had this whole idea, like it was like right after the No Man's Land storyline. He had the same thought where he was like the Joker. This was 20 years ago.
Oh,
and the Joker's been used to death even more. But 20 years ago, he was like, we are overusing the Joker. He wanted to do like a Death of Joker storyline. And then he wanted to cap that like nobody could use the Joker for like 3 years.
Ooh.
And then they would like bring him back and like, oh, he's back and do this stuff. And I kind of think that DC needs to do that.
Yes.
Because I feel like every other storyline now is Joker War. So I'd kill the Joker. I'd kill Deadpool for the same reason.
Oh.
Yep.
He's overused. And I love Deadpool. He's overused.
We're the same. I feel you now. Okay.
Yeah. He's in too many books. He's everywhere in the Marvel universe. And I want him to feel special again.
Okay.
And then you know what? And for the same exact reason, I'm gonna kill Venom.
Oh.
I'm killing Venom.
Really?
Venom is gone. All symbiotes gone.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Symbiotes are like mutants, man. Like in the there's too many. No more symbiotes. Everybody is. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Is it symbiote or symbiote?
You're right. You're
symbiote. Okay.
Symbiote. Yeah,
there's too many of them.
Especially as I read Venomverse, I was like, you gotta wrap this up. We gotta wrap this up. The King of Black was cool.
That's the problem. Like, see, all like it's funny. I kind of pick like 3 characters that are all kind of similar, right? Like they're all kind of characters that are when they can be scary, and when they show up, they should be like big deals. And because they're like, I mean, because like remember if you've ever read the original Venom storyline, like Todd McFarlane did this whole thing where it was like Mary Jane kept thinking that Peter was like walking in the door, and it was Venom, and that was like. It was like very like it's very like James Cameron Aliens. It's like, oh, you don't know who's coming in that door because just because it looks like Spider-Man doesn't mean it is Spider-Man. It's a thing that and I haven't played the new game Spider-Man 2, but I feel like they're going to do some of the similar stuff where it's like we're going to get into some scary stuff because Venom should be scary, but now if everybody's Venom, he's not scary.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's true. The character's been overdone and stuff like that.
I think the one time with the whole Joker, because I agree with you. When I started reading comics, it was during the New 52 era, and I liked what Scott Snyder did, where he basically he had the Joker for one arc, and then he was gone till 3 or 4 years later. And like it made me appreciate Joker in that sense. Like every time he came, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
really big. And and now you get Joker side books, you get Joker dark Black Label books, and then you get Joker movies, and then you get Joker everything, and it does kill the character.
Yeah. There's basically a Joker book. Like that's the thing. Like, look, I get it because I'm a fan as well, right? We're all fans here, and as a fan, you want more, and there's something that you realize, like once you start creating and stuff like that, and you guys are this because you're creating your own podcast, so you guys are, you're less is more. In a lot of cases, less is more.
Yes.
But I understand the fandom bit where you're like, no, give me more and more. I want Joker in every title. I love the Joker. But again, it just waters him down. It doesn't make him special anymore.
I like that.
There, I'm sorry. Are you guys Trek fans as well?
I just started. I'm new.
Okay.
I am new. I'm a baby.
Okay, so all the Trek fans out there, there's a very popular character that's very similar to the Joker. His name's Q. He is played by John Delancey, and he basically is an omnipotent god that shows up on Star Trek: The Next Generation to screw with Patrick Stewart. He is some people hate him, and it's about 50-50. It's like the Joker. Half the people hate him, half the people love him. But he's very fondly remembered. I actually really enjoy the character. There's 7 seasons of The Next Generation. There is like 180 episodes. Q is like one of the most well-remembered characters of this series. He's in 8 episodes. Of 180, he's in 8 episodes. So it's one of those things that like every time he showed up, it was really special. You were like, oh, here's Q again. So like that's what I want for the Joker.
Okay. I respect that. I love it. I love it so much.
It's like Vader. Like Vader was only like 10 minutes of A New Hope or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I want a Vader show so bad. I want like the Charlie Soule run of Vader, like origin, but like but I know it will be exactly how you say, like it will just be everywhere. But every time Vader has popped up, it's a spectacle, and I love it. But I want more. But like I understand, it's like they will milk the fuck out of it, and I'm like,
yeah, because eventually they'll do the show. Like all you have to do is extrapolate it out, right? Like eventually they will do the Vader kids show. And when you reach that point, you're gonna be like, I think Darth Vader can go away. And you don't want to reach that point, right? Like you never want to reach that point.
We're gonna get to that point.
But studios love money, and that's why they keep doing it.
Yeah. Also, and they don't like to pay people. That too. We gotta
that's the other thing.
That's crazy. And like, I have so much. Okay, that's a whole other thing.
I hope you also notice that all my answers are going to be very long, and I apologize ahead of time.
Oh, that's totally fine. I love it. Like we love that. This is my dream right now.
So I have a question. So I'm curious because you said something about you want each character to feel special or scary to an extent. Why Deadpool? Like how can Deadpool be really scary if he's put in his position where like he's not around too long, and then you reintroduce him?
So here's the thing about Deadpool. So I have a very, I think, unique view on Deadpool because when I started reading comic books, right, early 90s, Deadpool was not the Wile E. Coyote of the Marvel Universe. He was this guy that was a Rob Liefeld ninja assassin guy. So he would show up like maybe once a year, if that. And when he showed up, he basically was the antagonist of the issue. The one I remember the most is there is this Wolverine issue, and it's got a blue cover, and it's almost silhouettes, and it's Deadpool with his swords up, and Wolverine is like being held aloft by the swords. That whole issue is like, it's like mid-90s or something like that, and it's Wolverine trying to, like, I think save some girl or something like that, and Deadpool has a bounty out on the girl, and the whole issue is just like Deadpool fighting Wolverine and like kind of besting Wolverine. Like he's kind of an equal of Wolverine, if not stronger. And I can't remember how he defeats him, but he's only in this one issue. So like when they finally did the Deadpool solo series that was by Joe Kelly, which I love, and Ed McGuinness did it. Like it was like I think late 90s, early 2000s.
It's good stuff.
That whole I think that's still the greatest Deadpool run of all time.
That's true. That's true.
That was the run that they started introducing the humor. Now, and it wasn't still to the point that it was Wile E. Coyote. He was still this like deadly assassin guy, but he was trying to like do better. Like that was the arc. The arc was he was like, I don't know if I want to be an assassin guy anymore. And so that was like the X-Men were like teaching him to be a better guy and stuff like that. So for me, that's the way I view Deadpool. Like, and I kind of think we have like hit the gas the other way, that where he is like every Deadpool story is this now, is he shows up and he's like jokes, which I don't mind. And then the Avengers are like, shut up, Deadpool, you're a quack. And they just like walk away from him. And then he like joins the battles and makes one-offs.
Yes.
And I think I would rather turn the dial back to where he was a little bit. He can still be jokey guy, but I think like it should be the thing of like, he should be Wolverine unhinged. So it's like when he shows up at the X Mansion, they're just like, oh my God, we got to fight this guy.
Oh,
and
man.
He's impossible to beat because he's crazy. You know, but like, for me, I'm like, Deadpool should never be in the Avengers. I don't think Deadpool should be on an X-Men team. He's a loner. He's a loner guy. I'll give you the pass on Wolverine, but that's, so I want that to, like, that's something that if you look at all of Liefeld's creations, and this is a lot of the 90s, they all have this like grim and grittiness to it. And I kind of feel like over the last like 30 years, we've just shaved off the grim and the gritty from Deadpool. And I want to bring that back. I want him to sort of be this, you know, this badass again. And because right now he's just a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could be on any movie set, what movie set would you want to be on? Like, you wanted to see how a film was made. What movie would it be?
You know, the funniest thing about this is one, it depends on the movie set, but a lot of movie sets are really boring.
Aw.
I hate to tell you this, like that's the truth. Is like a lot of movie sets are they film a scene and then it's like, all right, moving to next position, and they take an hour to move the lights.
Oh man.
So you're all just like you know, just reading books, whatever, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, that you know, but I would say man, it might be easier for me to like give you an older movie, like a movie that's already come out. Like if there's a movie that I could be on that set.
Oh. Or Western would be interesting. My mom loves Westerns, so I would be on a Western movie set, any of them, to see how they were made.
You know what movie I would love to be on the set? I would have loved to have been on the set of Casino Royale.
Oh, really?
Because I would have loved to have seen the thought process of Martin Campbell and like his choices for making Bond different. I'm a big Bond fan. I'm a big James Bond guy. So, you know.
Who's your Bond?
Oh, it's Sean Connery, the original.
Yeah.
Far and away. I think Daniel Craig is like a soft second. But like Sean, I'm the original. Like Goldfinger is my favorite Bond movie. Like I've read the Fleming books. I'm a Bond nerd. I just love it. While at the same time also noting how misogynistic and dated it is.
Oh yeah.
But
I love it.
Yeah.
The movie reviews are great.
But if you realize that coming in, it's a good time. Bond's a good time. But I'll tell you what. If I could change your question and direct any movie, I would love to direct a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh,
I would love to.
I would kill.
Father God, please, somebody.
I would kill to direct. It drives me nuts that they haven't figured it out.
Bro, I saw Incredibles. I was like, this is it. This is you can do it. It's possible. But I like
Brad Bird.
I don't ask for much, man. Please, Marvel, just take your time. I mean, I don't even.
That's a whole debacle right there. It's just
that team is so great, man. I didn't know. No, Sue Storm. I know Sue Storm was the one. Sue Storm was the one.
If you listen, you listen to my podcast, like you talk.
That's my favorite episode. It's my favorite episode.
I think Sue Storm is the greatest character in the Marvel Universe, and the fact that they can't pull her off drives me crazy.
Oh, explain why. It's for the people. Why she's the greatest.
Oh, so I think Sue Storm is the greatest character in the Marvel Universe because Sue Storm is Stanley's wife. If you look at the original run of the Fantastic Four, you remember like he was going to quit comics. He was going to quit writing. He was like, I'm done. And his wife was like, hey, why don't you write whatever you want to write? And so he wrote a family. He based the Fantastic Four on people he knows. Sue is his wife. And also like when you look at like the transition of her character in the Marvel Universe, like she's secretly like the most powerful
Yes.
She's kind of the mom of the Marvel universe. Like she like holds the same thing. Like I gravitate to characters that are like sort of like have it together and that the universe will listen to. Like in DC, it's Nightwing. Like Nightwing can show up, tell the Justice League what to do, and they will be like, "You got it. You were trained by Batman, and you're not an asshole, so we'll listen to you." And Sue Storm is the same way, except Sue can be like, "Look, I hang around with the smartest man in the galaxy, so I guarantee you something's rubbed off. Also, I tell him what to do." That's the thing that people don't realize. Sue Storm is the secret leader of the Fantastic Four.
Oh, bars.
Everybody thinks it's Reed.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Hey, Reed, let's go over here and do this." And he's like, "Oh, yes, you're right, honey. Everybody go over here and do this."
Yeah, it's wild, too, because, like Sue Storm is also, like, sought after by my favorite villain of all time, Doctor Doom. And also, she's the mother of the strongest character in Marvel Universe, I think. Yeah. I mean, like, it's like, now that you say that, it's like she's the center of, like, all this, all of it.
And then again, I love like giving, they were the first Marvel characters. And it's, you know, I understand why you don't start the movie universe with them. I think it was the total right decision, but it is a little sad that we're like so far into the cinematic universe.
Oh my god!
And I know like rights issues and all that stuff, but it's a little sad that you're just like, oh man, like why couldn't they have already been in there?
Oh my god!
And the Fantastic Four also introduced like so many like heroes, like and heroes and villains, and
the first 100 issues that Stan and Jack Kirby did of Fantastic Four are like the entire foundation of the Marvel Universe is laid in those issues.
Yes.
Like again, people forget Black Panther is a Fantastic Four character.
Yes, sir. Man, listen, Fantastic Four is one of the greatest.
Spider-Man's first official issue.
Yeah, and then like so, like the Marvel Universe, like I feel still to this day pilfers more from those 100 issues than like any other part of Marvel Universe.
Cool. I love
it. That's beautiful. I love that.
I love it so much. Oh man, Fantastic Four is great. Just take your time, Marvel, please. We don't ask too much. Just take your time, man. I know we need it, but like, God.
But I don't feel like they are. Like DC, I think are taking a good approach. I mean, even though like it'll rub off on the fans negatively, like wiping away a lot of the stuff prior, but you're gonna build a new foundation. But Marvel is just like everywhere, and it's such a sad thing too, man. Because I loved RDJ and I love Chris Evans and I love Thor, and now it's just like they're lost, and I'm like, hopefully the Fantastic Four can help them. Hopefully.
Only thing I want James Gunn is Nightwing to be the Batman and the Brave and Bold. That's all. I'll ask nice. Much, but like that's really the point. Cool. I mean, what's the point of? You could do that. I would do it. I'm just saying. James, you got it, please.
I think they're gonna go simple. I think that's the thing. That's the thing I've learned about all these movies. It's gonna be it's the only reason why Damian is Robin.
Yeah,
is because they want to be like, because everybody in the audience thinks that Robin is Batman's son, so let's just make him his son.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing you have to realize. Like is like it. You know, again, I love these conversations, and I. But like the thing you always have to realize, and it's the thing that I kind of hate, right, about like geek media and stuff like that, is that all of these decisions come down to money.
Right.
And all of these decisions come down to like a studio executive who can write a paycheck. And if they don't think that check can cash, they will never do it. And that's the whole that influences more decisions than you will ever know.
Yeah.
You know.
But I just like, now that you've opened my eyes to like movie scripts, because I took a script writing class in college.
Oh, cool.
It was crazy. I loved it, every bit of it. And pitching, it was crazy. We had to pitch at the end. That was very scary and very nervous. It was very like nerve-wracking, but that was great. But now I look at movies like, you've helped me look at movies completely different and comics differently. So I look at them like, okay, do I like this? You kind of molded me into a way of thinking about.
Thank you. Well, the thing I love, like you know, like I don't know how you guys feel about this, but sometimes like when I'll go watch like a nerd movie, right? You know. Yeah. And I'll walk out. This happened was Across the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was like, well, I don't know if I liked this piece and this piece.
Right.
And some people will say to me, they're like, oh, is that because it wasn't exactly like the comic books? And I'm like, I don't. Can I curse on this, by the way?
Oh, say whatever you want. You can say all.
So I will say, like, I don't fucking care if it follows the comic books or not.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't care. I mean, you know, like, because I know it's a movie, and a movie is different from a comic book,
right?
And I know like a cartoon is different from a comic book, and so like to me, I'm always like, no. I'm just looking for like, do the characters feel like the way I read them, and if that's okay, then that's fine. That's like, you know, yeah, it doesn't have to. Like, I don't. By the way, like, I think The Dark Knight Returns, like the Frank Miller comic book, is like one of the best comic books ever written. But I think if somebody like literally filmed that word for word as a movie, it would be one of the most boring movies of all time.
Yeah, just a bunch of talking heads. That's it.
It would be so much voiceover narration that you would go crazy.
I love it. Yeah, that's why I try to explain to people when I talk about comic movies. It's like, no, I like when they do stuff from the comic, but I'm just like, make it different.
You're wearing like all the Spider-Man stuff today, so yes. Like, I mean, let's talk about this. Have you played Spider-Man 2 yet? I haven't, but have you?
I've played a lot of it.
So that is nowhere even close to the comic books.
Oh, Joe, they do a lot of stuff that's completely like, oh snap! I was like, oh, that's different.
But
see how you went there.
It feels like Spider-Man, doesn't it?
Yeah. Every beat, everything he does. I was like, whoever wrote this was like a fan.
But like, it's crazy because like as a comic book fan, like literally what you can say, there's a multiverse. Even the Spider-Man game had a crossover with the comic books. It's like at the end of the day, it's like if the characters don't match, it's a multiverse. I mean, like it's literally different things. I mean, like you'll always have the true characters from the books. Those will always be the right characters, the true characters. But the movies, I mean, it's a money thing too. You got
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask the two of you guys. Yeah, because you nailed something that I love to talk about. Like we say this on our podcast all the time. Like, make your own continuity.
Oh,
like if you want to say Batman is 48 years old, fine. If you want to say Batman is 25, whatever. I don't care. Whatever works for you and makes your experience the best. Like, so here's the argument, right? Like, and I feel like Marvel Comics and DC Comics always fight this, right? And they go back and forth. Do you fellas care if your comic book universe has a detailed continuity? Or do you just want the stories to be good and you can put them in however you want? Which do you prefer?
Oh, I want the stories to be good. But I like with little things here and there. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, cool. Like in Spider-Man games, the Spider-Man first game, they did like stuff with like other heroes, like, oh, the Avengers, that was cute. And like Spider-Man 2 without spoilers, no spoilers. There's a lot of stuff in there they put in there. It's like, oh, that's dope. That's cool. I'm like, okay, but I prefer just to like fill in the gaps. I'm making my own continuity because it's like it's tough.
Yeah, I think that. I'm sorry. What about you, Benny?
Oh, sorry. So like if I'm playing a Spider-Man game, I want to play a Spider-Man game. I don't really need an Avenger because like, look, we've all read comics. When you see a Spider-Man event in the comic books, you're like, where the fuck is the Avengers? They're off-world. So like, I'm okay with that. Like everything that happens, I'm like, all right, the team is off-world. Yeah. You can even mention it. I'm okay with it. As long as a single product or the single entity is good, I don't care. Like, I will read I mean, like, look at the Matt Reeves Batman. There's like no superheroes, like like the Justice League, but it's a Batman thing. Like, as long as the product is good and as long as like it, like you say, feels like the character, it's okay. I mean, like, but we have so many different variations of every character. You can always go back to those at the end of the day. I mean, but it's cool to see different changes here and there. Like, I love it. I love certain changes too.
It's
like
the best.
Like comic books will always just like change and go back, and I love that. I mean, it's a
do it, man. Yeah, but Spider-Man 2, play that. You got to play that. It's amazing. I would love to see it. You got to stream. Like, why are you guys?
Oh man, no, I tried that. I tried that once, and like I like to enjoy my video games for me.
Okay.
and if I gotta like perform, like no, I can't. It's not as fun for me. Yeah, also, I'm not that much of a video game. Like my video game like style peaked at like GoldenEye. So I am not I am not good. Like when I played Spider-Man 1, I died so many times in stupid ways.
Listen.
So like nobody needs to see that.
I would love to see your reaction to certain things, because that game does like it.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I look, I'm waiting for the PS4 or PS5, excuse me, to go down in price next year, and I will scoop it up.
Yes.
And you know, like I don't know, I'm not really a big. I don't really video game spoilers don't really bother me too much because like you're playing the game, so it doesn't really, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like they do in the game that I'm like surprised about, and the characters you see, it's smart what they did, and the gameplay's different, and the Miles.
No, I'm excited for it. One was so good, Miles, and the Miles game was a lot of fun.
God, and then like the Miles integration, them together, it has to be at some point a co-op Spider-Man where you could be both of them at the same time, because it's crazy how they're in
or
the
a two-player game. Yeah,
I just want or that. Well, I know they're doing Wolverine next.
Yeah.
So, but there's Daredevil has to be next, or so. I don't know why, because Daredevil has been like, I've just started reading Daredevil like this year, and it's consistently good. It's like, okay, he's one of the characters, because I was a Nightwing guy, but I was like, oh, Daredevil's dope.
Daredevil's like the Batman of the DC universe in a lot of ways, and like in a lot of ways, like he has like a lot of. Like, where did you start? Did you go back to Frank Miller, or did you start like with Brian Michael Bendis?
Daredevil Yellow. Daredevil Yellow.
Oh, Daredevil Yellow. Okay.
And then I did Brian Michael Bendis. Then I did John. Who's the one writing it now? Who's writing it now? Chip Zdarsky. I did his stuff, and then it's cool. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're jumping all around. Okay.
Yeah. So I like, but it's been consistently like I care. Like it's good. It's been consistently.
Yeah, it's good. It's been really good. There's been a lot of really good runs of Daredevil. You need to read the Mark Waid run. It's really rad.
Oh, okay. Because did he write?
Mark Waid one's really good, bro.
He wrote Iron Fist. Did he write Iron Fist?
No, that was Ed Brubaker.
Ed Brubaker, and then it was which one was the more Iron Fist with it was dope. It was a tournament. Was it a tournament?
Yeah, that's the Ed Brubaker run.
Okay, I think I read that, and then I read some more Iron Fist. But Iron Fist is dope. I have an Iron Fist tattoo. I have it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, rad. Oh, damn. All right.
Iron Fist is my favorite. One of the favorite superheroes. But please bring him back. Take your time too with him too. Please take your time. Take him back.
So, quick question, Jason. So,
yes.
You obviously I know that you're into novels, right? Yeah. So like, what are you currently like diving into, and like, is it like fantasy, fiction, nonfiction, or what?
Oh, see, like it's so funny. I'm reading like here. I can open up my Kindle. Hold on a second. It's funny because I'm always trying to like read stuff that's like similar to what I'm writing because it really helps. So this is fun. So weirdly, I've been reading a lot of children's books. I'm trying to write one right now.
Ooh.
But I've been reading this book called Pay Dirt Road by Samantha Jane Allen. It's sort of like a rural, like kind of, for lack of a better term, it's like a redneck crime mystery. So, because that's similar to like a TV pilot that I'm working on right now. So, like that's what I've been reading, and then I've been like rereading. Because I mentioned earlier, I've been part of the reason why I'm in like Bond fever right now is because I've been rereading the Bond books again. So like, I'm in the middle of Goldfinger, which is like the 6th or 7th one in.
So when you read when you read books, do you like Kindle or like in your hand or like?
Oh no, I'm a Kindle guy.
Oh,
I am a completely digital person now.
Oh, are you like that with comics? Do you like comics in your hand? Is different?
Yeah,
or no?
yeah, man. Look, cool. Of course, I can zoom in on the art.
Oh, like, I love that. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, like I am past. Like I was literally at a Halloween party last night, and somebody was like, "I gotta have the book in my hand," and I'm like, "Nah." I was sort of leaning that way before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic happened, where you couldn't go anywhere for like 2 years, like I went full digital. So, I mean, I'll buy a book here and there, but like also it's a space thing. It's like cool. I don't have to have all these books in my apartment, and so
that's my issue.
Makes sense.
Is there any like comic that you like, your dream comic that you have, like you will want to have, like Cheetah Secret or? I
mean, you mean like just like to own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, who wouldn't say Action Comics #1?
Okay. Yes, that's
right.
I want that so bad. I want that so bad.
It's funny because like all of the comics that I don't really have one, to be honest with you, but like all the comics that I own that like mean something to me are personal reasons. Like I have I have Spider-Man 2099 #1. And I still have it one of the long boxes in there because it was a gift to me for Christmas one year. So I still have that. I have a signed copy of Kyle Rayner's first appearance by Daryl Banks and Ron Mars. So that's like a legendary, you know.
Let's
I have
go.
that one.
Let's go.
You know, so like little ones, like they have to mean something to me, like to have like a little bit of something for me, you know.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, about your writing. All right, we love like what aspect of writing is your favorite?
Oh, that's a very broad question.
I had to get that. I had to get. I know you have very long answers. I love it.
You know, to me, it's like I think this would be similar for most writers. Like it's the idea phase. It's where it's like anything is possible. It's so in a television writer's room, they're usually the first 2 weeks is what they call a blue sky.
Okay.
And what that is like you spend like 2 weeks before you ever write anything, just kind of being like, hey, what about this for the show? Hey, what about this for the character? What if this was the ending of the season? Like it's just like it's kind of this like 2 weeks where like no idea is wrong.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of all throwing it out there to be like, well, what if we discover that this person's the evil twin, you know? And you're like, whoa, well, what would that be? You know, like no idea is right or wrong. So that's always like my favorite. Like I always like figuring out the puzzle. Because I would say every writer's least favorite part is actually typing it. Because that's where you actually have to make it all work and it has to make sense. And you do a terrible first draft and you spend so many days being like, I'm a terrible writer. I'm a terrible person. You're just like, what am I doing with my life? And then you give it to somebody. It happens every writer will tell you this. It happens to me every time. You'll hand that to somebody and be like, can you read this, please? It's probably a big pile of crap. And they're like, no, it was pretty good. And then you like twist back and you're like, okay, maybe I actually am good at my job.
Besides, okay, you've done podcasts, you've done, what have you done? Is there anything that like you done podcast?
Plumbing. No, I've done plumbing.
Sick. What? Podcast, writing, videos. Let's see the video. Is there one that like you like surprised that you have excelled at the most? Like,
oh, interesting. I mean, always talking on camera, I guess, is always surprise. You know, like that was always like I never saw myself doing a job like the DC job ever. I just like made goofy videos and I talked on a podcast. And then, you know, I always like to say that like for people, I always say you should like listen to the signs the universe is giving you. And so like right around that time when I got the DC job, like a bunch of other people hired me to like do podcast or video stuff for, you know, like I did these, I think they're on like one of the Suicide Squad DVDs. They're like, I did these like all like Suicide Squad 101s where I'm like, here's who Killer Croc is, blah, blah, blah. And it's just me in front of a green screen talking, and stuff like that. But it was right around that time where I was like, oh, all these people are hiring me, paying me money to talk about this stuff. So I must be good at it. Or I must like, people must think I'm good at it. So, man, so like that maybe like, I'm also like a pretty decent video editor, although I hate every aspect of video editing.
Amen.
But
I hate it so much. I don't like it at all. I hate it
too. I mean, I learned this is video for the deep cut video editor nerds, because I was a video editor out here for like 4 or 5 years. Final Cut X sucks, and I had to learn it completely for a job. They forced me to learn it. I figured out everything how to do about it, and the second I got really good at it, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move to Adobe Premiere."
Oh no!
Yeah.
No! Oh no! I just Final Cut and I did Windows Movie Maker, but Final Cut was like I had to do it in college for like stuff like that.
Yeah. So now I'm fully like on Adobe, even though I think Adobe is like super complicated and doesn't make any sense in a lot of ways.
I love it. I know you have a lot of guests on your podcast. Who's your dream guest like podcast? Like who's like you haven't had?
I mean, we haven't had a lot of people.
Dead or alive is better.
Dead or alive. Okay.
Dead or alive. Yeah, because that's like.
Wow. You know, let's go for the moon here. Let's say. let's say dream guest is Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor from Doctor Who. That's a dream guest. I would love to get him on.
What would you ask him? What would you ask him?
I think the big question I would love to ask him is just to be like, how do you as an actor make sense of gobbledygook? Because that's a thing like a lot of fans don't realize is like in superhero movies, in Star Trek, there's a term called technobabble. And technobabble is when you're saying science fiction nonsense that is totally nonsense that the writers made up. It's like inject the plutonium nuclear core.
Oh, okay. That's
you hear that?
Yes.
You hear that? You hear that stuff in movies all the time, right?
Yes.
And it means nothing. It means jack nothing. So and Doctor Who is a lot of like, and the Doctor is a character that just says nonsense all the time, and he's really good at it. And so I think I would ask him like, how do you like not go crazy saying nonsense all the time? and how do you like, what are your tips and tricks for like pulling it off? Like Patrick Stewart's very good at it too. So I'd say Tom Baker. I go for Alive. I'll put it out here. We've been trying to get Todd McFarlane for quite a while on Geek History Lesson.
Oh man, I asked some questions.
One of an episode that we've been holding for a long time is Spawn, because we want to do a Spawn episode, but we want Todd on the episode when we do it.
Oh yes.
There's been a lot of guests. I will say, like, for Geek History Lesson, there's been a lot of guests that have given us yeses, and then like scheduling has gotten in the way. And Todd is one of those. Like, we have gotten a yes from Todd, and then like, he had to go make more toys or be awesome somewhere or buy a baseball, I guess. He's. Right. I say this. Look, I know Todd. Todd, you listen to this podcast. I know you're a big fan. I say this with love and kindness.
I love Todd. What do you think about his figure line? What do you think about the DC
his figure line? Is fucking great. Like I have a bunch of them up there. Like that's a Todd McFarlane like Batman Beyond, and that's a Todd McFarlane. That's the Spawn Kickstarter figure right there.
Yes, I have it. I have it too. Oh, I love that figure. That figure's so nice.
I never thought in a million years he'd be making DC toys, and he's been murdering. I mean, like, way too many Batmans. Let's pull that back.
I was like, bro. I was like, Batman again. Okay, cool.
There's too many. Look, I get you. You like Batman, but like, let's make a little bit less Batman figures. Let's do this. Let's pull that nozzle back.
Yeah. I need more Wonder Woman figures. I need some more.
I mean, I can't. Can you believe? Like, I'll tell you what. I never thought in a million years that a toy company would make an action figure line based on 1997's Batman and Robin, and I would be excited about it.
I'm getting Mr. Freeze. I need Mr. Freeze.
I'm getting that Robin. That is like the greatest. That costume is so awesome.
The Nightwing
it's the closest we've ever gotten to a Nightwing costume.
Yes, that was cool. That's so.
And like I've even thought about the thing too, because I don't want the rest of them. I want that Robin. I don't think I want any of the rest of them, but I do agree with you that I'm like, I don't know. That Mr. Freeze looks pretty cool.
That's my man's. Chill, be cool. That's my man's.
Oh man, the greatest movie puns of all time.
Yes.
Cool party.
I will love Mr. Freeze in the Batman. Well, he's probably not. It's probably gonna be Clayface. It's fine. But I want to. I do want a Clayface solo movie though, like the Joker. But like he's killing actors and stealing their role. That's what I want.
I've always said for a long time that I think Clayface would make an amazing Batman movie villain.
Ooh, yeah, I agree.
I think he'd work really well.
Literally a movie about actors.
I would call it Clay until like the end. It didn't call it Clayface at the end of the movie. That's great.
Yeah. I want as well. Like I want a modern Two-Face. Two-Face is my favorite Batman villain. And I feel like I love Aaron Eckhart, and I just like my biggest complaint about The Dark Knight is that I wish that was just the setup for the third one. And that we'd gotten a whole movie with Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face.
Yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, he deserves it.
So I'd like to see a Two-Face again. I really, really would.
Yeah, change it up, DC.
But also, I'd like to see other villains. Like, I'd love to see I actually think Court of Owls would be a fun movie.
Professor Pig would be gross. I would like to see that.
Professor Pig would be a fun one. You know, I'm trying to pull out now, but now that I say that there are other villains, I can't pull any of them
King is
out.
kind of crazy. Robert Pattinson said Condiment
Yeah.
King. I was like, I don't know about that one. I don't know how that goes. I
mean, a Hush movie would be really good.
Oh yeah. You
know,
Hush is always the one. I don't. Yeah.
A Scarface movie would be really funny.
Oh.
So would Poison Ivy. Like if you actually like do Poison Ivy, but do her like right, you know, like would be a fun movie.
Yes, I do like Uma Thurman though. Uma Thurman killed it. I do like her.
Yeah,
yes.
She's super hot.
Yes, Uma Thurman. Shout out. So Uma Thurman. Okay. Writing. Okay. Well, we'll talk about action figures, but I love talking about action figures. Is there a dream action figure you haven't gotten yet, or that you want? I know you got the Galactus. Did you get the Galactus?
Oh yeah, he's right here. Hold on, he's right up there.
Oh man!
So he's right up there. That yeah. It's so funny. I was talking to this yesterday with my wife. Like this is that HasLab Galactus. So he's like 4 feet. He's like 4 feet. He's like 3.5 feet tall. He's in scale with the Marvel Legends, which is what I love because he's holding like Silver Surfer there. But I also put him up here. He's chasing the Enterprise, which I love. He's chasing the Enterprise. That is like that was my dream figure for a long time. Like, so as soon as it came up, I remember being like, I am spending $400 on this. This is way too much for a giant action figure. But like, I've like wanted this action figure since I was 12.
Get it. I love it.
You know, that's a hard question because I kind of feel that like a lot of them have been made now in like the last 5 years.
Like I'm like jealous of kids nowadays get these action figures. I see Thunderbolts, all types of. I said, "Yo."
Well, okay, so that was gonna be my thing. Is like they haven't made all of the Thunderbolts yet, and I have been scooping them up. That would be a dream for me. I mean, it's so funny. I have to go grab him though. Hold on a second. I'll bring him on camera.
Cool.
For a long time, so my favorite Iron Man run is this Kurt Busiek Heroes Return run, and they just made this guy. This is that armor from that run.
Oh,
and so this is my favorite Iron Man armor of all time. Like this was designed by Alex Ross, so this is like his design.
Oh wow!
Because it's very classic, the pointy like face mask.
Yeah.
This was a figure I thought they would never make, and then they made him like 2 months ago.
Yeah, the figure game is getting crazy. I have
so like I don't know. Oh man, a dream figure. God, that's such a great. I mean, do you guys have answers for this? Can you guys let me think?
I got my X-23 in the Wolverine suit. I got that one. I got that. I got also Superman in the black. I got a hot toy of that. He's like ginormous. I have that, and I've gotten mostly like Silk. I've got Silk and all those people I want.
Okay.
I got Miles. I got everything I've got is like. Now in the movie, I got almost all the figures I wanted.
Yeah, that's like if they complete out the Thunderbolts, because I think we're missing Moonstone and Atlas and Fixer.
It's got to be coming soon, man. Because the figure is crazy.
I agree. I've always thought that they would just do a box set of it because we bought a couple years ago. There was a Alpha Flight box set.
True.
And so we bought all of them just to get all Alpha Flight, which is really great. So I've always thought that like even at a Comic-Con they would do because again they've made Citizen V, they've made Songbird, they've made Mach 5. They've done some of them. Like somebody over there likes the Thunderbolts, so they keep slipping them in.
Because I was like, there's no way they're making all these figures. Because Marvel's Legends is making interesting figures. I just don't like that they're in the box now, where like you can't see the figure. I don't like.
Oh,
that.
they've changed it now. So now they've changed that.
I don't like
where
that.
It's a flat retro with a plastic thing now.
And I'm like, oh come on, man! I want to see the whole this display.
I don't care what they come in. I open them all anyway.
I gotta open. Well, I'm gonna buy. I have a Japanese Spider-Man, the Spider-Man from the Japanese show. That's what I want.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, it's the same thing like that. Like for a long time, I would have said the movie Batman, and then they just did that. McFarlane just did that set. You know. Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna get all of them?
No. I don't need the movie. I don't need any more Batman action figures. I'm good.
Yeah, I did want classic Superman. I got to get Todd's classic Superman. I missed out on that. I meant the classic Superman.
I don't know. I'm trying to think because he's made a Kyle Rayner. I've got lots of Kyle Rayners in the costume.
There's a blue one I want. I want the special one.
Yeah, I have that blue one. He's right there. He's right there above my shelf in my head. I mean, like that's also right here. The McFarlane Asbats.
Oh,
so like that's another figure that I would have said like, and there it's right there. Like so, yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that anymore.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I stumped him. Yes.
Yeah.
What is your dream? I guess you had your dream. Okay, what is your dream movie? Oh, you said Fantastic Four. You want to write? Do you want to write Fantastic Four too?
Yeah, I'll write it. Yeah, I could. That's the thing, man. Like, I would write a Fantastic Four movie in seconds. Like, it's it's the thing of like, it's just the thing that I think Fantastic Four is Marvel Star Trek, and the fact that they can't figure that out. And no, I would write a Fantastic Four movie in a sec. I could write it in 3 days. Give me 3 days, and I'd hand you a screenplay that you could do in the MCU. Like, it's to me is so simple and it's so easy, and that's why it drives me like. That's why it drives me nuts that they haven't been able to pull it off yet, because my only answer to that is it must be like the executives. It must be studio executives making crazy decisions.
Hey, do this.
Because I can't believe this many talented people have not been able to pull it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe they need you, Jason. They should hire you. Please, Marvel.
I wish. I'm available to work Marvel Studios at any time.
Yes, please.
I I would do Fantastic Four. I would love to, I'm trying to think about like other things that I would love to write. Man, I don't know. It's hard. I will say it's harder and harder now to want to write a superhero movie, because I feel like there have been so many good ones, and I feel now like there have been so many good ones that it's a hard bar to cross now. So like they're like difficult now to write well. Whereas like 10 years ago, they were like a little bit easier. But now that we have so many of them, I think it's hard to write a good one now.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. I've seen The Boys and stuff like that. I told people like
Gen V. The Boys is a perfect example of that.
The Boys, Gen V, they're all different. I loving Gen V right now.
I mean, it's my worry with the whole James Gunn DC universe, where I'm just like, I don't know, like what new do you have to bring to Superman? Like, I've just seen 3 seasons of Superman and Lois, and I thought it was pretty good. So like, what are you gonna add?
I don't know. You give Superman a kid. That's what you got to do. I don't know, James. Yeah. You make me. I don't envy that man's job. That man.
No, I agree. And I'm not even in no respect am I even saying that I could do better. I'm just saying like that is a very difficult. He's got a very difficult job. You know.
Yes. I want to see what he does with Swamp Thing. That's what I want to see.
You know. No, I don't know. Like, it's funny. Like, it's funny. Like, some of the stuff that I would love to work on is like kind of older stuff. Like, I would love to work on like a King Arthur something.
Ooh.
I would love to do a King Arthur. Oh, you've probably heard this, Tevin. On the podcast, I say this a lot. My dream. You give me a dream reboot of something or something that I can have. It's Highlander.
Thank you.
Give me Highlander.
I would love to see you right-handed. I want Sonya or Conan the Barbarian. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I would do Conan the Barbarian, but like Highlander is the one. Like Highlander to me is such a franchise that is like perfect for a reboot. Oh, another one is Stargate.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised I haven't rebooted that either. I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird, man. Or like Buffy or whatever or anything like that. We don't have anything like that at all. Like nothing like that to that extent. But I just want more things that like that haven't tapped in, that have potential that you can do so much. Because I didn't.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like it's the reason why I keep dunking on Batman, right? Is because like it's like how many more Batman movies do we need?
I don't understand
at this point.
I wanted Batgirl to see what they do with it, or Nightwing, or with the Bat Family. But I just want to know, like, there's so much you could do, man. I don't know.
I think that's why I was excited for a while about the Ben Affleck Batman movie, was because when they were talking about it, they were like, oh, it's going to be Deathstroke. And I was like, oh, that's something we haven't seen in a Batman movie before. We haven't seen him like match up against like his equal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I guess that, like, I liked the Batman, but I didn't love it because I felt a lot of it. I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah, that's everybody says that. Everybody says that about the Batman. It's like, oh, I've seen it before. I just want to see what they do with the second one. Cut some time off of it, and then that's fine with me. As make it keep it short and sweet.
I think that's the reason why, like, the conversations they've had about the James Gunn Batman. I think I'm a little bit more excited for that one than I am the Batman 2, because Yeah, let's do the Bat Family. Like, get Robin in a damn movie, for God's sake.
And a suit. Put him in the shorts, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Too long. Too damn long.
Yeah.
I want him in a Man Bat. I want to fight Man Bat, all types of weird stuff. I don't know, Brave and the Bold. I love the title.
Give us a Nightwing movie. Like, yeah, like, say that, you know, like, that's fine. Like, let's do this. Like, that's like the one aspect of Batman that has not been in a movie yet. And it kills me that they keep not doing it because, like, my mom, who doesn't like comic books and doesn't know any of this stuff, knows who Dick Grayson is.
Yes.
And she knows who Dick Grayson is because of Batman 66, which is fantastic. But, like, so, like, it drives me crazy that movie studios keep being like, well, nobody knows who Robin is and he's lame. And I'm like, no, everybody in the world knows who Robin is because of that show.
My mom knows who Wally West is from the and I'm just like, my mom knows from the Flash. She knows about the Speed Force and everything, the Reverse Flash. I said, okay, CW, you did your job. CW,
the CW's like laid a lot of stuff down,
and it did Crisis. I said, oh, okay, nice, but like the movie should just do that. Like when Ezra Miller was wilding, they should just been like, hey, Wally West immediately.
This is not even my pitch, but Mark Bernardin, you know, also a great writer and stuff like that. He, for a long time on the Fat Man on Batman podcast, he had this pitch for that he thought that DC, when they were struggling, should have done Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it was a Crisis on Infinite Earths of just Batman. And he was like, what they should have just done is they should have just, with CGI and whatever, had, you know, where it was like, you know, where it was Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and then CGI Adam West into there. And it was like all the Batmans of the multiverse.
Oh, that would have been dope.
It would have been great, right? And you could have like slipped little other characters in there. But like if you just did the movie Batman, everybody would have gone nuts. We saw it with Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, and that only had 3. But can you imagine if they had... Can you imagine they had all those movie Batman? It would have been like a $5 billion movie.
Yeah, I don't understand money studios would do it. I don't know. Studios don't want, like the Spider-Verse with Sony. I have no idea what's going on. But I'm excited for like see what they do, but I have no idea what's going on. I heard stuff, but I'm like, it is what it is. Okay, fine, but I don't know. Studios don't want money, man. It's crazy. I don't know. But we usually turn this at the end of the show. We usually turn this thing on you. Like, what do you? Like, we ask you questions.
Please.
You get to ask us questions. So, what questions do you have for us?
Oh, what questions do I want to ask? Oh, so my questions are: do you guys have any like frame setup questions? Like, are there any specific questions that you ask?
No, you can ask.
It's like James Lipton inside the actor studio. Like, what is God gonna say to you when you get to the pearly gates?
Ask us whatever you want, whatever you like.
Okay. Okay. Here's a good question for you. How many more years does Marvel Studios have? Make a prediction. It's going to stop no matter what. Now I'm not saying with this question that I think Marvel Studios is going to end, but I'm just saying every movie studio ends. That's just life. When does it end?
15 years.
15?
Oh wow, you're very generous.
I'm thinking at this rate, if they keep going at this rate, because I don't think everybody's like, there's more like they're coming like the DC universe, DCEU route, like where it's like always divided now. The movies are not like, oh, it was good. But like, I say 2. If they don't do this right,
2. Oh wow, I love that we got the extremes here.
I say 2 because man, I've heard some bad stuff about people. Ask me, I was like, what's going on with Marvel, man? I'm like,
yeah,
and they're like,
but my only thing is because like they still, the movies are not making, I guess, as much money, but like they still making money off the merchandising and stuff like that. So as long as they can push some crappy show, they're gonna make so much more money. But yeah, like you said, eventually there is a tipping point, and eventually it's gonna get to a point where it's just like everyone's trashing us. Like we got to do something, and I don't know. It's
Wow. Fantastic Four and Daredevil and the X-Men. With Daredevil, that was crazy that we did like you were doing the like imagine going to work and you did 4 episodes and they're like, no.
If Fantastic Four doesn't work, then that's going to be
that's going to be a real big hit. Like the X-Men are important. If you do Dark Phoenix again, we're not doing. Please don't do Dark Phoenix
it's weird for me. I could see the X-Men giving it new life. I don't know if the FF are gonna
Yeah, unless you do something crazy. I don't know.
You
But
know,
I don't know.
see, my guess is 2030.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
I think they have about 6 years.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night was good. I like that.
You know,
That
Yeah,
was
but
nice.
no one in the streets is talking about that though.
But it's still good.
yeah.
It's so good.
But you got to realize too that there's also a point where they're gonna just like recast everybody.
Yeah,
That they're gonna we will have like a new Captain. We will have a new Steve Rogers Captain America movie. We will have a new Tony Stark Iron Man movie.
Secret Wars. I'll take Secret Wars, man.
Yeah,
Please do.
I think they definitely should do that. I mean, like, don't be scared. Like, yeah, people are gonna get upset, but we're still gonna go to the movie because like it's so weird to see a Marvel universe without a Steve Rogers, without a Tony Stark, and like also without a like T'Challa. Like it's so weird. Like it's
Black Panther was crazy.
It also just shows you the difference between like comic books and television and movies, right? It's like, you know, in comic books we're used to like characters dying and coming back and oh, Hal Jordan's alive, now he's dead, now he's alive again, and Barry Allen's alive and he's dead and he's alive, all that stuff. Like that works in comic books. And then in television shows, like we saw it with the CW Arrowverse, like they kind of did this like interesting like 11-year, and for whatever you think about it, I think they pulled it off. Mostly I think they pulled it off. But it came to a natural conclusion, and movies are very singular. Movies are very like, you know, like, okay, we're going to do like a trilogy and then that's it. And it's interesting them trying to sustain this ongoing narrative through all kinds of different genres of movies. And I think we're seeing now, I think we're starting to see the cracks because again, this universe is started in 2008.
Right.
And we're now at the point, are there like 28 movies now? 27 movies?
30 something. It's gotta be
30 something? Jesus.
It's gotta be 30 because of
yeah, but now you're at the point, right? You're at, because again, you also have to think about, like, here's the thing that Stan Lee realized, right? Like Stan Lee always had this rule that everybody's comic book is somebody's first comic book.
Ooh.
Everybody's movie is somebody's first movie.
Yeah.
It's also somebody's last movie.
Yeah.
But everybody's first movie. So you're getting to the point now where little kids, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds are coming to these movies, right? And you're asking 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds, young kids who are like passionate movie fans to watch 30 movies before they can understand it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh God,
that's a high bar.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Most kids are going to be like, I'll go back to TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna keep it up because I have so many questions, man. Especially with like Loki just dropping, and I'm like, okay, and then Secret Invasion was weird. I have questions because I've read the comics, and I'm just like, you could have made this a movie. I don't know. I personally could have like, but Secret Wars definitely has to be the end all be all because you got to bring. I would bring Blade, Wesley Snipes, Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage, all of them. I would just do that.
But they won't.
And just reboot. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's not a bad idea. To me, I would be like the thing I said about Spider-Man No Way Home is I was like, I do not care about this movie because I've not been a big fan of Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man. Yeah. He's Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
If you like those movies, hooray! That's just my opinion.
Yes.
But going in that movie, I was like, the only way I'll care about this movie is if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it. And they were in it. And so I was like, okay, cool. You did the thing. Secret Wars for me, I want to see Tobey Maguire team up with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, it's going to happen, bro. It can't. It's it's crazy. There's no way we don't see that, bro.
If you do that, I'll call it a win. But also at that point, once you do that, to me, I'm like, well, there's nowhere to go but a complete reboot.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. Wanda was going to do some crazy stuff like, Multiverse of Madness was going to do some crazy like that. Multiverse of Madness.
All I want to see, I need to see Dr. Doom kill Thanos.
What, you going to do the thing? Oh,
yeah,
my God. The panel. Oh, my
God. So here's an interesting, who do you cast as your Dr. Doom?
Oh, man. I did like Michael Fassbender had to look, but I don't know. Henry Cavill would be crazy.
It'd be a weird choice.
I
be a
would
very weird choice
just
to
to
do.
spite DC. I don't know. I would do that. I would hire.
I don't know.
But it's got to be somebody
God.
crazy. Like it's got to be somebody that's like Michael Fassbender. He has the face. He
Mhm.
reminds me of Doom.
But would
How
you
he
cast him even though would you cast him even though there's a
Ooh.
chance because he could show up as his Magneto in a future movie?
Never mind. Oh man, Daniel Craig would be dope.
I mean, technically,
Ooh,
Chris
Daniel
Evans,
Craig would be a good choice.
Daniel Craig would be dope. Daniel Craig would be dope. I think he could do it.
Have you heard the Daniel Craig MCU thing?
No.
So in Multiverse of Madness, right? We saw Reed Richards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you know that was supposed to be Daniel Craig?
Really?
Yep. It was originally Daniel Craig, but the problem was because that was at the height of COVID, and he basically was like, I'm not getting on a plane, and so they had to recast it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I want John Hamm to be my Reed Richards though. John Hamm.
Oh, interesting. Until they made a Moon Knight, I was Oscar Isaacs.
Oh,
that's who I wanted to do Richards. Yeah, but now he's Moon Knight, so I can't do that. So now I have no. I don't know. My pick for Doom right now is Javier Bardem.
I was literally gonna think about that too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he's awesome. He is awesome and scary too.
Yeah, you need somebody that's scary.
Oh, that'd be good.
And he has like a good accent too. So I mean, even though he's Spanish, but like, doesn't really matter. He just has that creep factor, and that intelligent factor too. Don't sleep.
Okay, so here's the next question for you. Okay, you can pick Marvel or DC Comics, right?
Uh-huh.
Change one thing that they're doing right now.
Ooh.
You can change anything. Now, by this, you can cancel a title. You can say we need this title. We need a title starting this character. You need to change one thing. What do you change to improve them for the better?
Well, for me, it would be DC. I would change the over aggressiveness of Batman as the forefront of the DC universe and scale that back and start like showing more of other members, like Wonder Woman. Like, it's a shame that she doesn't have as much as she should. And obviously a lot of the legacy characters like Dick Grayson, put him more in the forefront. I mean, it's so long overdue, and it's like, and DC does a great job with like always having their legacy characters around, but like the issue is like they're never in the forefront. It's always just Batman. I get it, money, but
Batman sells,
yeah.
But like, I feel like he only sells because you're putting them out there more.
I agree. DC Comics is literally Batman Comics at this point.
Yeah,
it really is.
Marvel with I would just change to like to have more like Avengers in the movies. Like I feel like they're like never got to see them be a team. Like Age of Ultron was the only time we got to see them like, hey, do this. We never got a chance to see them like hang out in a setting. And then Civil War came. It was too quick to like happen. But I wish Civil War would have came now, like instead of them, because we have more heroes like Kamala, She-Hulk, and all like working together. But I wouldn't kill Tony in Endgame. I wouldn't kill Tony. I would probably kill Cap.
Well, it's weird though, because like there's no Avengers team. Like, who's the Avengers?
And it's like not like it's like weird that you don't see like you could be like Carol Danvers should see each other, like Jessica Jones should see each other, and then like it should be like a thing of like I don't know, a synergy. But there's synergy, but it's not like enough for me. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like a real universe that they hanging out and stuff like that. One you can get for one scene, but like also like the Tom Holland like Spider-Man stuff is a little shaky to me sometimes. And
I agree. I agree. And I like him. I think he's a great Spider-Man, but I don't, you know, it's funny. I have the problem with Tom Holland that a lot of people, that I have the same problem with Henry Cavill Superman. Mm-hmm. I think Tom Holland's best Spider-Man movie is Civil War. Because it's the one where he feels the most Spider-Man-y. And like, they've made 3 Spider-Man movies, and to me, in all 3 of them, they don't feel like Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm. That's what people like. I'm hating. I'm not hating. He's just like, this is not Spider-Man.
Like, I want him to get a movie that is worthy of. Like, that's the thing. The thing I like the most about No Way Home was him being like poor and by himself and in a crappy 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, cool. Now that's the Spider-Man movie I want to see.
And then it ends. And then it ends.
And then it ends.
Like, I wish, like, it would be dope. I thought they were gonna do something where, like, he's swinging and then Venom like jumps on his face and say, "Hey, Spider," at least his face or something. And then it's like that. Oh, but like I just think that the Sony stuff, it just stops from doing things. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, because like Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is like the greatest Spider-Man movie that's ever been made.
I'm thinking, like, if the trilogy is this gonna be the greatest trilogy we get? It
will be.
And I'm like, Beyond Spider-Verse, you had to go to Toby and Andrew now, or like, and like how they connect to every Spider-Man Canada event. I'm like, yo.
I mean, they got Charles Gambino live action in there, so I mean,
but I also
they can do it. They can do it.
2099 and like Batman Beyond have been like, I have found a new love for them. I want a 2099 movie really bad. In a Batman Beyond movie.
I want a Batman Beyond movie.
How do we haven't got Batman Beyond yet? I don't know.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
That's crazy. Michael Keaton is already. I want that. We deserve that. And 2099 Spider-Man is just. I said, okay, Miguel, I'm down. I'm down. The claws and the fangs and everything. I was like, this was great. And then Miles live action. I don't know what you do from there. I don't know.
I always thought that they should have introduced him into the Tom Holland verse.
Oh,
and they should have just called it Spider-Man.
Oh, together. That was
they
different.
should do like the video game. That's what I thought. Like I kept being like, to me, I was like, I always thought the thing to make MCU Spider-Man different was to make it a team up, to make it a dynamic duo. Like, so
that'd be nice.
I was expecting Miles to be a friend of his in Homecoming. And then like, so like here, let's rejigger this trilogy. Miles gets bit in Homecoming. Then movie 2 is he starts training Miles, and then movie 3 you can still have Andrew and Toby show up, and then it's also Tom and Miles in that movie. Money. And it's 4 Spider-Men all like swinging around.
You should be hired.
Again, Marvel Studios can hire me at any point.
Spider-Man 2 is already laid the groundwork. That's all I'm gonna say, but no spoilers. Yeah. But for that dynamic, it would be great. But yeah, I don't understand like the Tom Holland thing. Would you kill Tom Holland? Would you kill Tom Holland?
No, I mean I would have him stick around as long as he wants him to stick around. But like, I don't know. To me, like, I'm also like, I'm a big fan of older Peter Parker. Like my favorite comic book run of Amazing Spider-Man is it's a tie. It's a tie between the J. Michael Straczynski run, because I love Peter Parker being a high school teacher. Seems brilliant. And then I love the Dan Slott run because I like that he was just a scientist.
I like that. And then I like Superior Spider-Man a lot.
I love Superior Spider-Man a lot.
That scares me. Like,
I got his doctorate degree.
So here's my other pitch, right? Here's my other pitch. To do something in a Spider-Man movie that we've never seen. Do Superior Spider-Man and let Tom Holland play a villain for a movie.
I think I would love to see. They're gonna get him new black suit, but I just said, bro, do it. Or I want to see Secret Empire. It'd be scary, but like I don't think they're gonna vault to do it. I don't know. That could change up the DC. I don't have to change up the Marvel universe, but I would love to see Tom Holland.
I mean, Superior Spider-Man is, like you said, it's probably like in all runs of Spider-Man in the top 3.
Easily.
Just because like literally Octavius literally said, I could be a better Peter Parker and Spider-Man than you. And literally got his doctor's degree, got his debt cleared, had a successful relationship. It's like, but, Green Goblin always got to come in and ruin everything. But
I don't know. I just imagine somebody being better than you. That's crazy. Like, imagine somebody just being better than you to do your life.
That's so good, though.
That is so good. That's why he's the greatest Spider-Man villain. Spider-Man, the greatest Spider-man villain to me. Doc Ock. Yes. I think he beats Green Goblin by a mile because he gave Peter everything he wanted.
Yes, but like it's just wild though. But like after Willem Dafoe in that movie, I'm like, oh, this is why Green Goblin is so fucking vile.
Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock, I don't know, man. Spider-Man 2.
But Doc Ock, I get it though, man. He's just a long term.
Alfred Molina would kill it as I would love to see it, and then hear his monologues of him doing the Peter stuff, of him punching the Lizard's face off, and then it would be great. I don't know. The Spider-Man is just an untapped thing. They should just. Marvel they're sitting on so many crazy characters and cool things, but Spider-Man is like, you can do so much. Just change up the game. That's all. That's
Yeah,
what.
I kind of hope for the Spider-Man trilogy game. I mean, obviously, I'm not even that far at all, but I really hope it leads up to Green Goblin, because like I like how the fact that they didn't have him in the first game or so far in the second game, but like that would be a cool bit build up, because it's like the Joker effect. There's so much Green Goblin at one point.
I love what they're doing with the game. I Venom to everything else. The villains, they're outdone themselves. Wolverine's gonna be crazy. I don't know. And I played Wolverine Origins. That game is amazing. Play that Wolverine
That game
Origins
was good, voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yes. What? I did not.
Yeah,
Hamill?
it's Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's the voice of Wolverine in that game.
Bro, what the hell? Mark Hamill was so talented.
Yeah.
So talented.
Yeah, and that's all I want. That's all
I
I
saw
want.
him in Fall of the House of Usher. He did amazing in that show.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. That show is great. I haven't finished it yet, but it's great.
Oh, yeah, but yeah. Yeah, you have any more questions for us? Then we can wrap up.
No, I think that's it. I probably have to bounce soon, fellas. So I don't know if you how you want to wrap up the friendship of podcasts.
Tell us where they can find you and what you're listening to, and give us some advice for the day.
You can find me. The easiest way to find me is, well, I don't know. Social media is all kinds of place. I have jasoninman.com as my website. You can find any of my books. But Geek History Lesson is our podcast. Comes out every single week. We teach you the fictional history of a character, in a little bit less than an hour. We're closing in on 500 episodes. We've been going for almost 10 years. So awesome. Almost a decade long. So I guarantee you there's an episode you'll like. In those 500 episodes.
Yes, and I love sign up to the Patreon, Jason Jeremy John Just Sleep podcast. I love that podcast. Susan Eisenberg is like my queen. She is the voice.
Rad, right? Yeah, she did the intro over for us. Yeah,
I loved it, and that was my favorite episode to listen to you guys. I love that episode.
Rad!
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome, man.
But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I have this I'll get a little saccharine, right, for a comic book podcast, right? Like comic books, superheroes punching up emotions. But the advice that I say for anybody, podcasters, anybody like that, is I have this quote on my computer. It says, "Commit to create a peaceful, joyful, and loving world." So whatever you're doing, put joy into the world. Because if you're not, then what's the point?
If you're not, okay, cool. Benny, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Benny J. Blanco and on the formerly known as Twitter at the Benny J. Blanco. What about yourself, Sailor?
Sailor Games 18, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, your mom's house. Follow me anywhere, okay? We love you. Tell your friends we love you. Go see, drink your water. Tell your family and friends you love them. Have a great day. Enjoy the sun. Get some air. Go outside. Read some books. And we love you. Jason, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you.
No, yeah, thanks you guys for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. You can come on anytime you want, promote anything you want. We love your things, okay? We love you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I got to press the button. No, I'm pressing the button. Bam.